Well, this is my first time ever recording a video for YouTube. Never thought I'd do anything like this, especially at this stage in my life, but hey, figure maybe it's time to make a video diary and, well, see what happens and hopefully might be able to help out some people along the way. My name is Michael. I live in Ontario, Canada. For most of you, that means, look, we have walls and we have windows and we don't live in igloos like some of you might think. In fact, our winter here this year was probably 10 times better than most of the winters that were in the States this year. We've had one major snowfall and that's just about gone. I guess the reason that I've decided to make this video diary is, and I'm going to have to track back here and bring you guys up to date, but it goes back to 2012. I was, had my own apartment, was working, things were going great. Was dating a really nice guy. Yeah, things were just perfect. I don't think I could have asked for much more. That year, my father was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, and the only reason that they called it colorectal cancer is because the doctors couldn't decide whether it was colon or rectal, so they decided just to take it as colorectal. His surgery was scheduled, and surgery went well. There was a bleed, but it was put under control. They got everything, so that was a bonus. 6 weeks later, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer for the second time. She had had it almost 27 years ago, actually in the other breast. So her surgery got scheduled, and this time again, they were lucky. They just went in and did a lumpectomy. My mom had rheumatoid arthritis. She was diabetic. They just felt that doing a full mastectomy at this point, they didn't think she'd live through the surgery, so this was their route to go. After that, when she got home, I guess is when they asked me to come and stay with them and help them. I didn't realize what I was walking into. My father was handling his chemo okay and was handling his radiation okay. They had put him on a very aggressive treatment where he was actually getting chemo and was doing radiation at the same time. It took a lot out of him. He wasn't a sick man ever in his life. He was a cowboy. He had horses. He loved them. To tie this man down was impossible. He was go, 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 go. And all of a sudden, about halfway through 2012, I'm going to say June, July, August, in that area, we noticed some big problems with my dad. Losing a lot of weight. He had been in and out of the hospital. Terrible bowel control. Things were not good. I had become a full-time nurse to him, was giving him hydration therapy treatments, was his full-time care provider, cleaned him up when necessary. I mean, as his kid, I did for him what he had done for me for so many years. It was like I was returning that favor. We finally figured out what was wrong with him. The radiation had punctured his bowel, and he was actually defecating inside himself. That causes sepsis, which is deadly. And by the time we figured out what was going on, it was too late. And my dad died on January 4th, 2013, at the age of 72. Again, the man had never been sick a day in his life, and it was a definite blow to our family because we never, ever, ever, ever saw Dad dying that early. His family all lived well into their 90s, so we figured he'd be around forever. This was a huge blow to my mother, if you remember, who was also recuperating from a surgery herself, and they lived out in the country, which was very remote. They'd lived out there for 30 years, and after Dad died, it just wasn't appropriate for my mom to be out there anymore, so I talked her into coming back into town, where I am now. Try packing up a house that someone's lived in for 30 years, folks. That's a lot of work. A lot of work. The memories, the things that you find that make you laugh, I mean, it's just amazing. There was things I hadn't seen there since my childhood. And of course, there were things in my dad's shop that I just shook my head at, wondering why the hell he kept them. He kept nails. Nails. He had this fetish, I guess, about nails, and I don't know why. He always said that he had to have a certain kind of nails because the ones made in Japan sucked. I don't know if that's true or not, but hey, that's the way he felt. Anyway, I got my mom into London, and she got settled. She was doing pretty good for the first, I want to say, 6 months, and then it was a whole turn. My mother was very depressed. She had lost the love of her life. My mother never expected to be a widow. She always thought she would die before my dad, just by family history, and it just didn't play out the way people think. So don't ever sit and think, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how it's probably going to go, because guess what, folks? There's just no telling you how this is going to play out. I mean, my mom was here. Within that 6 months, all of a sudden, it came down to that she had to have a mastectomy. The surgery that would have killed her 9 months ago, they decided now that, oh, no, we have to do it to save her life. Her breast had died from the radiation. They had radiated it so bad that there was a hole inside the breast, and the skin was dead. There was no live tissue in there. So anyway, we had the mastectomy, and she just never bounced back from that. With her depression and taking care of her, and of course she felt like she was a burden, and I always said to her, no, you're never a burden. Of course she lived with me, but she was never a burden. I loved having her here. She was funny. I mean, there was a lot of times that it was very serious, and it was I don't know, it was hard. On October 17th, 2014, 22 months after my dad died, my mom passed away. And she died from sepsis as well. I believe, and I don't know if I'm right, but hey, it makes me believe. I believe she had a stomach aneurysm, which runs in the family. She was having huge bleeding problems, and they didn't know where it was coming from. And my mother went septic literally within 20 minutes of hitting the ICU. It was just unreal. I actually didn't even realize she was dying until about an hour before it actually happened. And it was a blow. To lose both my parents so quickly, I just couldn't believe it. It was just something that you absorb. It gets better. It gets easier. It does. But the hurt never goes away. I don't care what anybody says. That hurt is there forever. But that wasn't the end of my tragic life, as I want to be calling, and this is why I'm doing this video diary. I want to be here for people that are going through the same thing. I think it would be great if we could talk. You might know of things and groups and how you've gotten through things. I'd love to hear if anybody else has been through stuff like this. But before we get there, let's get back to where we were. 10 months after my mom died, I got a phone call, and my 48-year-old sister had died in her sleep. How do you handle that? It really, 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 really makes you think about your mortality and about your life and about how much we take things for granted. Anyway, she died on August the 6th, 2015, and in October 23rd, my brother died in 2015. So, slap, 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 slap. I've been slapped on all four sides. So, and to some of you, and I'm just going to throw this in there, I'm a huge pet lover. I always have been. Through this whole ordeal, I had to put my mom and dad's dogs, outlive them. So obviously I took care of them. So I lost Kelty in February of 2015. I lost Hope in December of 2015. Wrong. I lost Harry in December of 2015. I lost Hope in January of 2016. And my last little guy, Ted, he just died actually just last week. So when you do the math, it's kind of like dad, mom, sister, brother, dog, dog, cat, cat. 8 tragedies in 3 years. I'm still smiling. I don't know how, but I am. I have a great doctor. I have 2 wonderful friends that I don't know what I'd do without them. And I don't know. There's mornings that I get up and nothing. There's other days I get up and I'm full of motivation. Again, I'm hoping that people look at this video and maybe I'll make some friends that have gone through this or are going through this, or maybe your family member's sick right now and you don't know what to expect with cancer or something like that. Ask me, trust me. Going to the cancer clinics, talking to the doctors. I honestly believe that my dad might have still been alive if maybe I thumped a little harder than I did. Unfortunately, he didn't complain, so I didn't really know what was going on, and I was at the mercy of the surgeon. Anyway, this is my intro video. My name is Michael. I'm a 50-year-old guy. I'm single. Gee, I wonder why. I haven't had much time for social or anything, and the partner I did have when this all started didn't stick it out with me, which that's fine. That tells me that I made the right decision by letting him go. And I'm going to try and post as many videos as I can in the next little while, letting you know how I'm moving through this and what I've done to get through this, and also let you know of some huge barriers that have been put in my way. Yeah, this will be interesting to see how it goes. Anyway, Hope to talk to y'all soon, and stay happy.